So Ray, what's the story behind this one?
This guy here
Yeah.
had a factory over in the UK, and decided I wanted to bring some cars over. Had a number of employees that were interested in selling the existing cars that they had, and they wanted to upgrade. So most of it I bought off my employees over there. Put them on a boat and ship them over here. The one behind it, the markings are still in the window from being on board ship.
So this, how long ago has this run?
This one here's been here probably 20 years, 25 years.
Okay.
Same one, pretty much in the same era.
They're both about 25 years. You bought them over there, you were running around with them?
We drove around over there,
Yeah.
and then we'd pack them up and ship them over here.
And they,
Starting a car collection in Manchester years ago. And you see the rest of them are all out there.
and these are two that you're letting go.
Pretty much the deal was, I could either ship money back or I could ship cars back. So I shipped cars,
Wise decision.
then I get money back here.
Well, we're going to go load them up and try to resurrect them. I'm not sure which one we're going to go work on first. But we got to go load them up on a trailer.
Shouldn't be much to get them to go because they've been indoors forever.
No, I want to fight. I want them to fight me a little bit. I don't want them easy.
They'll punch you, but you gotta punch it very little.
Yeah.
They've always been in warm, heated areas.
Well, we'll see. Was the fuel all drained out of them when they were put away? So that makes life a lot easier.
All that fuel, yes.
Nice. So I think we're taking this one to my shop.
Keep going on right there. Right there for now. Hey there, look. Back a little.
I flipped the trailer up, it kept on going, a little bit of speed, and ran it right up there.
Yeah. You want to see the engine?
Sure. That little thing packed in there, huh?
Yeah, little Coventry Climax motor.
So, what is the air-cooled? That's the radiator. I got you. Yeah. It's hidden in the shroud up there. And what year is this? You know?
Big silence. We're not sure yet. I have paperwork.
What roughly? What do you think it is?
62.
Around there.
60s. It's a 60s vintage car.
And it's called a what?
Hillman Imp, and this happens to be the Imp Super, which
What does the Super give you? Pinstriping?
I don't know. Maybe molding.
Fit good in your inventory.
Yeah. So I got to show you the coolest part of this car.
Yeah.
That's
Is the back window?
the back. Yeah, the back window. That's my opinion. Look at this thing. Opens up. I
See-
love that.
So you can bring your lumber home.
Then of course the back seat's folded down.
That's how Mr. Bean was able to do the stuff.
Great shape, original paint.
Yep.
All right, we'll get that one on my trailer.
Very quirky little car. You got for hook or anything?
All right, guys, got it back at the shop and on the lift, and that's pretty much as far as I've gone. I wanted to wait till I had the camera and we'll all kind of check it out together. I know nothing about these cars. I've never seen one before, never heard of one before, and I think it would make for a good video for me to enjoy because I've never worked on it, and possibly, hopefully, be the same for you guys. It looks pretty clean. I think it was put away okay. It's probably closer to 30 years. It hasn't run. As far as what the mechanic said, I believe he said he drained the fuel out of it. I don't know if that's true for coolant and everything else, but when we get into it, we'll find out. It doesn't smell like mice. It doesn't have any holes in the headliner, or any nastiness in the seats. So I think it's a fairly decent car. Let's get it up in the air. We'll take a peek underneath and see what that looks like and start getting into it. Let's go take a peek. It looks pretty clean. I don't know what those are. Brake lines. Is that copper line going up there? I don't know what copper lines would go. Maybe like an oil pressure or something. No, that's brake line. Brake lines are copper. Are they copper coated? That's what I'm looking at right there. Yeah, check out those universal little rubber, like inner tubes, don't they? Got some cracking going on those. Yeah, got copper brake lines. You wouldn't think they would be, I guess for a rot it would be good, but I don't know about anything else. Maybe just how they made them. Looks like the exhaust has oil coming out of it. Maybe they pickled the cylinders. I don't know. Exhaust all looks decent. Not much to it. You got a header right to a muffler. And then this must be the exit for the radiator. Yeah. So the hot air comes out of there, or does it draw it from here and out the backside? I don't know which way the fan goes. I would think it would be pulling air through it. Yeah, that hose is rotted right off of it, so you know the cooling system's drained. What else we got? Yeah, so it's definitely been a little while since anything's run in it, judging by that. Hopefully, that looks like it's almost plugged up solid, huh? Alright, yeah, so it's definitely going to need some love to get up and running. That's the base of the radiator. I don't see anything out of place. Where's the starter? Up there? Is that it? Maybe you can see it from up top. Definitely, engine leans on an angle, huh? Yeah, copper lines, man. Looks like a pressure switch for the brakes. Body looks pretty decent. The only area I see was any kind of patch was done was here. At some point, that was done, looks like a long time ago. Everything else looks nice and original. All right, let's go drop her back down on the ground, look at the engine bay and see what we got going on there. Bring the lift down, I'm looking at the tires. That back one looks like a snow tire. That looks like something in between. That one's totally different. And the one in the far back, I don't think there's a matching set on the whole car. I got the back hatch open, let's go check this out. Definitely leaning on an angle, huh? Yeah, the starter's up top. Here's the rad. Should be the water pump here. We should probably take that belt off before we try turning it, judging by all that corrosion that's on there. We don't damage anything. Yeah, it looks like it turns the water pump and a fan going across the radiator at the same time. Not sure what that would be for. Maybe heat going to the front cabin. Looks like it had a little battery over here on the right hand side. Don't know if it was 6 or 12 volt. You could probably maybe pull a bulb out of it somewhere. I'm gonna guess it's 12, but I'm not gonna hook 12 up to it yet. And we should probably see if it turns over by hand. What is that little hole? Can we get in there with a socket? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If you get something on that nut there, make sure the engine turns. So let's start with that. Let's go get that belt off of there so we're not turning anything. We'll see if they're seized up or if they're free. And we'll just try to sneak up on it and do as least damage as possible. See if it turns. I want to get some oil down on those cylinders. It's been sitting that long. I do see like corrosion growing on. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Maybe that's a clutch slave cylinder. Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? And we'll start sneaking up on it and go from there. All right, get that belt off. Have the belt on. Let's just go see if the crank turns it off. It does. Good. Yeah, let's get this off. Is that a nut and bolt? I have to loosen that pivot point up. It's a It's got one front and rear. There's another one back there yet. There it goes. 3. All the way down. Go put a wrench on it, see if we can get it to spin off of there. Yeah, it definitely wants to fight a little bit. See if we can just walk it off of there. Come right out of there. You can tell where it's been parked for a long time. The rust stains there. Let's give her a spin. A little noisy. Water pump. Water pump's got a bunch of crap in it. It turns about 10 degrees and locks up. So that's going to be an issue in itself. Let's get the plugs out of it and we'll dribble a little bit of oil down each cylinder. I'm just gonna mark the plugs with dots. I'm gonna call this number 1 cylinder. I don't know if it is, but we'll just go with like 1 dot, 2, 3, 4. Depends on which way the engine is. I think this probably would be number 1 cylinder because that's a looks like where the timing chain is up in here. All right. Go pop those out of there. They look pretty good. I don't see anything out of the norm. Pull the rest of them, see what they look like, and shoot some oil down there. Let's go give her a little. This is just a heavy oil. There we go. Unfortunately, the engine's leaning on an angle, so the oil's only kind of sitting on one side. But let's go get a socket on there, see if we can spin a full circle around, make sure nothing hits. And maybe we'll try getting some power to it. Actually, let's go check. See what we got. Something on the bottom end. It's low, but it's got something in it. It does look, well, it's not gonna have much dirt in it anyway because it all would have settled out. Yeah, let's go get a socket on there and see if we can spin that thing around. Got a socket in there. Got to kind of place the socket on one side and reach through the hole. Come on. Let's go see. Feels pretty good. 2 turns around, make sure everything clear. So we're not hitting any valves. Don't see any issues there. Let me go see if we get a little bit of. Not feeling any compression on that one. That one does. That one does. And that one does. Let's go check number 1 again. We have no compression on what I'm calling number 1 cylinder. Probably just a stuck valve would be my guess. Yeah, if there spins a little bit, it may free up. What do you want to do next? Let's try to figure out what it uses for power. And make sure it's, you know, positive, negative ground and all that kind of stuff. And we'll hook probably a jumper pack up to here. You think that's a crank button? You think that's, what do you think that is? Might be a crank button right there. You push it. Alright, let's go find out what we got for voltage. I'm going to take a quick peek at the generator. See if it says anything on it. Again, probably just pop a bulb out of it. And C2. I saw in the coil 12 volts, so that kind of nails down what it is, but I want to get the air cleaner if we can, off of it. Make sure we don't have any nests that are inside there that we're going to suck right in. It's like a regular screwdriver. That's all we need. Man, not much room. I give. Is there an access hole or something in the car? The post is coming up through the cleaner. I took the wing nut off the top, but there's not enough room to get the air cleaner out of the way. Let's see if we can wiggle that out now. I disconnected that bracket. It went to the lower half of the shell. And that is. It's gotta be difficult, don't it? There's a bolt on the, it looks like the intake manifold that the whole base of it is on. I'm gonna try to loosen that up, see if it swings down to the side, because you're never even gonna get the element out of it. Alright, so that finally does it for us. Let's drop it down. Allows the top to come out. Looks clean. Get the rest of it out of there. Should we not worry about it for now? Just set that up to the side. We're not going to suck anything in. See what we got for... We have a moving throttle. That's good. Choke seems like it moves. Pretty cruddy inside the car, but I have a feeling we're going to be getting down inside that. But let's get the battery hooked up to it and see if she does any spinning for us. Yeah, let's top it off a little bit first. Hopefully that's for oil. That's where it's going. I just don't want the oil pump to be sucking air on its first spin. I don't think it holds all that much. I'd say about a quart should do us. Probably a little less. That's good. We're up on the stick a little now. All right, let's go hook that jumper pack to it. It's in neutral. What do you think? Think we'll get anything? Yeah, there we go. That cylinder's firing now. Good. Yeah, if I just had a little bit of crap around that valve, not getting anything. Yeah, I'm like that in the morning too. Let's go turn the key on. We'll throw a spark plug in one of the plug wires and see if we get anything arcing out of it. I'm gonna look right there. Let's get a little bit of more darkness. It's even got, I did not expect that. It's even got spark. Nice. Let's go pop that cap off just for shits and giggles. See what's going on inside there. I could probably look at the dash too, see if the oil light goes out from cranking it. Yeah, it's got points in it, but they look like they're decent. A little cruddy around the distributor, but I don't see any moss growing on. We're looking right there. I don't see any crap growing on those. It's good. Let's just bump it real quick, see what we got for a gap. look pretty good. It might have a bad condenser. It seems like it's arcing quite a bit, but we'll see. It's got oil in the cylinder, so that's definitely going to make the compression go up. But let's go see if we can get anything with a little handheld real fast. Looks like we got 110 or so on that one. I got a screwdriver in the throttle holding it open so the air can come in. 150. I could even feel the difference when I was trying to hold over at the top of it. I think that back cylinder is probably going to be the best one. 150 and change, 150, 155 I'd say. I don't know if I'm going to get on that last one with this. I'm not getting a good seal. Just see what it says. Yeah, I think the back cylinder is okay. I just can't get the rubber seal to go in that plug hole decently. All right, let's go. Throw those plugs back in there. We'll dribble a little bit of fuel in there and we'll see if she'll fire off for us. Actually, before we do that, we should be able to crank with the keys. See if we can get that oil light to go out. How long does it come back on? Good. Nice. Yeah, let's go throw those plugs back in. Alright, see what we get. Plugs are just in hand tight. We're going to go dribble a little bit of fuel down it. I took the screwdriver out of the throttle. Choke is off. Is the key on? Key is on. See what we get. That should sound pretty good, huh? See if we can run off the bottle. Actually sounds kind of nice, huh? That smoke is just from the oil that we put in the cylinders to try to save that. But decent. Neat. I think we should probably try to look into the fuel system, see what we need to do to get that functional. Does it have a removable float bowl that we could check easy? Doesn't look like it has a float bowl at all, does it? Huh. Let's, what do you want to do? Let's go take that fuel line off right there. And maybe what we can do is, oh yeah, there's a float bowl right there on the back side of it. I don't know, you want to pull that carb off or do you want to just kind of see if we can go for it? That's going to be the accelerator pump. My guess would be that we'd be kind of done. What's it take to get the carb off? 3 bolts and a fuel line. We'll start with that fuel line. We'll pop that off. I got to go get some gas for us anyway. Maybe I'll go run and take care of that right now. Well, I figure I'd go look at the lines coming off the gas tank and see how what kind of corrosion is on them. But there's a problem. I haven't found a gas tank yet. There we go. So this will be your tank. Just flip up. I don't know if we could peek underneath maybe, see what it has for fuel lines. Let's go give her a sniff test. It's got a little bit of rankness to it. I don't know. Let's go flip it up in the air real quick. See if we can see any lines underneath the front of it. If we don't, we'll just put a little bit of gas in it and we'll probably take the fuel line off the back and we'll crank it over, try to get some flushing through it, see what it looks like. And it's right up in here somewhere. Those are going to be brake lines. I'd probably say it's this metal line right here. And I'm not seeing any. I don't know what the connection to the tank is. I would think would have a piece of hose up there. Might have to pull the tank up to find it. What's that right there? Maybe not. Maybe it's all metal to metal. Yeah, I think that's the fuel line, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so it's metal there. All right, going back. And then there's the line here. It just goes to a piece of fuel line to the carburetor, and that's it. Looks like where the thermostat's hiding, huh? Right back there in the back of the cylinder head. All right, let's go dump a little fuel in it. And I don't know if he said he drained it. Where would you, other than siphon it right out of the tank, like how would you get all of it out? I don't see any access to anything down here. Maybe he took it apart right there. I'm just hoping nothing's left open, you know. We're gonna find out right now. Anything? I see any kind of issues. It's got some cracking on the fill neck right there. I think once the gas makes it into the tank though, it should be okay, but it might leak around that a little bit. I did put a pan underneath it because I'm not that confident. See, just enough to cover the nipple. Think good? Yeah, I'll try that. Probably about a third of a gallon. Nothing's dripping yet. Let's get that fuel line off that carb, and we'll give her a crank. I should take the plugs out so you can spin it more. See what we get for fuel coming out. I took the plugs out of it just so the starter doesn't fight so much, and we just got a bottle. Let's go see if we get anything to push through. There we go. How did that look? It's like root beer. Go flush it. Got a good flow to it. Good. Let's purge this real quick. Do it one more time. Make sure it's clean coming out of there. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I'm bringing a bunch of rust and crud along with it. We'll do it one more time, see if it comes up clean. We'll hook it back to the carb and see if she'll stay running on its own. If not, we'll get into that carb. Yeah, let's go try that again. You would think a car that has a starter button back by the engine would have a lot of mechanical issues. This one's showing up pretty good. Yeah, I think we're fine with that. I'm not seeing any dirt or any crap settling out. Let's go hook that back up to the carb and see if the carb will function. All right, the key's back on, plugs are back in it. Let's see if it'll go without even dumping a little down in it. Let's choke it. Here's the throttle. A little bit. And look, can we manually work the choke? There we go. Choke's on 90%. I tell you, I'm amazed. I expected a much harder fight than that. See what happens. It warms up a second. We'll turn that choke off, see if it'll idle. Because the idle circuits are what get dirty more. To look for any leaking gas. I'm not gonna let it run too long because we've got no coolant in it. See if it'll idle for us. I think so. Well, nothing saying we'll have to take it apart later, but for now it seems like it's fairly decent. Plus, you know again, we're going to let it warm up. So I don't have the plug tight. See the compression leaking around. A little bit of oil. All right, let's go shut that off. Generator light's going to be on. Yeah, I don't know about the water pump. It's like not even hooked up. It's shaking all that crap out of it. Probably next thing we could look into. Let's yeah, it doesn't really turn. Let's get this hose off. This looks like it's ready to blow out too, huh? Not much left of that one. Get that one off. Maybe we can get the other one off the other side and kind of blow compressed air through it, maybe get a little bit of oil on it and get it to move. I have a feeling it's just a bunch of corrosion that's around the impeller. It might be totally shot, I don't know. But if we get compressed air, we'll blow around it, get it cleaned out, and then possibly shoot some oil in there, see if we can get it to spin. Then we can throw some hoses. Let's get ahead though. Let's go. Yeah. That might be... That one time was called the antifreeze. Like a goo. What about inside the radiator? I would think that everything pissed out of it, judging by the fact that the hose is hanging off of it. Yeah, there's nothing in it. Do some operating on that. I think this one is just the heater hose, but it should grant us access. We have a large one right there. I'm not sure which one's the feed and which one's the return. You got bike week starting. You hear it in the background. I think the chances are that's gonna move, huh? There it goes. Yeah, I have a feeling I have a feeling that that pump might not be so good. Plug solid. Some kind of gel is coming out of it. Yeah. The end of it just packed with crap. I'll show you. Looks pretty much the same as the bottom does. So I don't know if it had antifreeze in it or water in it or what, but it's definitely gonna be plugged solid with whatever that is. I don't know, where does that pump split? Is that a split right there? I don't think so, huh? I wonder if we could just, you know, take half the pump off and gain access. We'll go get what's the rest of that off of there. I don't know. Maybe we'll just take the generator right out of our way. We'll get this top hose off and see if we can just access it. I don't know if there's much hope for it, but we'll continue moving forward. You never know. Yeah, I just ended up unbolting that generator and flipping it up out of our way. You get a better idea of what we got happening. What do you think on this one? Full of crap, or? I figured it'd be the highest point. There wouldn't be coolant. Possibly there wouldn't be coolant sitting there. But we'll see. It's not looking good, judging by. Well, there's that. Let's go see on the pump. The pump's just, it's packed solid. I'm amazed that much corrosion can come out of something. Let's throw a pan underneath here. Well, it's a little too late anyway. And take an air gun. Let's go blow out a bunch of that crap in all different directions and see if we can at least see the impeller. My guess is that all that crap is right around the blades, and that's why it got that little bit of movement to it. But I think it's just hitting all that packed up crap. Yeah, little doctor's orders there. trying not to push it further in, you know. Not going to help our claws. Let's see what we can. I think on the other side we might be better off with a drill bit. Maybe try to punch through because this is still solid right here. Can't even get through it at all. Let's stab at it a little. Yeah. Let me get a drill bit. Don't even know if I can get in there with that. Let's try it. See how the ends are all rotted off everything too, but let's go get some air now. We'll blow some compressed air. Hopefully it'll blow out some of these other passages. All right, hold your breath. Yeah. Should probably actually blow it through the other one, huh? Get this way up and out. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get the bottom one off out too. See if we get anything through that. Oh. Now let's see if we can get a little bit of see if we can get some spin out of it. Starting to go. I don't know if we should put oil down in it now or. A friend of mine borrowed my scope. I don't have it with me to go poke in there. I have a feeling it's probably more of the same, but I think if we get it to spin. Yeah, let's go throw some oil in. It's not gonna hurt anything. It'll help with even loosen it up, you know. You can probably force it all the way through if you have to. I got some kerosene. Kerosene's like a little thinner than diesel. Let's see if that'll. Yeah, it just pisses right out that bottom. What if I can cap that bottom off? You know what I mean? So that it's not. So it can kind of hold some of the fluid in there. And let me see if we can go come up with. Are we gonna make it all the way around? I think if we make it all the way around once. Yeah, let me go see if we can get something to cap that off. We can kind of fill it with fluid in. That'll help like wash itself out. Right now we're just trying to, you know, grind all the crap. Oh, see how this works. I found a piece of like foam tubing, and I shoved the bottle cap in it. And we'll just take the hose clamp. We'll hose clamp that back up and fill her up with fluid. Didn't bother with the clamp, but I got it on there. Let's go see. She likes it now. To get her in the hole. It's gonna fight me every last little bit. Slow but sure, it's taking it. Oh, they could probably just fill it right up, right? It's not gonna hurt anything. I don't have that much in this bottle. Let's go with that. I think it's pretty close to the top. And if not, we could even let it work overnight maybe, if we have to. See if that'll dissolve and get into, I don't know if it's the bearing that's bound up, or like I said, just all the crap that's in the impeller. It is coming out the weep hole. Yeah. So that means it's going right through the bearing. Means that bearing's junk. Because the weep hole is there to try to help save the bearing. What if we can get like an air ratchet on here? There's not that much room. And get it to spin. Yeah, it's just coming right out the weep hole. I'm sure they had that at AutoZone ready to go. Yeah, not. I've been working it. It spins. I mean, it needs a lot of love. You put a wrench on it, you could turn it, but let's see if we can blow any crap out of it. See if we get anything. Yeah. A little bit of debris. Rust, it looks like. I may go with a little thicker something to put in there, maybe some oil where it doesn't want to come out so thin. I mean, we're not going to hurt the seals. The seals are already damaged. I'm just trying to hope to get some kind of lube to the, I think that's the bearings that are doing that right now, which is probably the one. I don't know if it's this one. Other thing too, I could probably plug the weep hole just to keep it from, but I got to get the pulley off, and yeah, I can't get an impact gun on there. That may not be a fight worth attacking. We should take the whole thing apart. I don't know if they're available. As I said, not going to be. It's not going to be a local thing. We probably have to get one shipped over here. The idea, I'm just trying to get it so that we can at least put fresh water in it, let it circulate through the system, see what other problems we have. Make sure we don't have blown head gaskets, and you know, if that much corrosion is over there, it's also going to be in other pieces, possibly. I don't know. You know, we don't know if the radiator's any good, that kind of stuff. So I kind of like, even if it's going to be pissing the water out of it, if we can just get it hooked up, get some hoses on it, and get it functioning, we could function check the rest of the car. You know, we could see the clutch and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. I'm gonna try, I don't know, maybe motor oil. Yeah, let's try some motor oil. Try filling it from this side, see if we get a little better shot at. Can't see. Huh? I would figure pour out that other side once it gets up to a certain level. I think it's pushing the kerosene out. Yeah. See crap coming out of it. See it flushing? I'm looking right there. All kinds of junk floating out of it. Never did an oil change on a water pump before. It's the first. Alright, let that be. I'll try working that around. I think I may let it set overnight. It's going the right way. Hopefully you can kind of creep. I mean, it's close. It's almost to the point where you can put a belt on it and it'll spin it. I like to get it better than that. I don't know how many bearings. I don't know. You figure there's got to be one on each side of the water pump. I don't know if there's any for supporting the fan. Kind of doubt it. Alright. I couldn't get an air ratchet in there. I tried. There's not enough room. You know what? I got a little 1/4" air ratchet. Maybe that'll make it. I'll take a peek. If not, we're gonna let this sit and see if by magic of time if it improves. When I have it with the 1/4", see what we get. Not much room, but maybe. It's pumping all the fluid out of it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's gonna work. Good. Yeah, that's got it. Good. I think we're gonna still let that soak overnight. Maybe I'll give it a couple more ratchets in the morning, and we'll continue on. We'll make up some hoses for that, and see if we can get some water in it. Plus, we let it flush itself out. Maybe now that it runs, we might be able to, didn't say it drives. Pull it over by the door, and we'll let some water flush through the system. Get whatever crap's in the radiator and the block. I'm sure a lot of that white powdery crap is in pretty much a lot of this. If that looked that bad, the other parts. My concern is the cylinder head. The aluminum head, correct? Yeah, the head's aluminum, so it might have the same issue. Hey guys, the next day, pop the ratchet off. It doesn't even sound terrible. There's not even maybe a little bit of bearing noise. I think the biggest problem is the seal that is in there, whether that is going to correct itself or not. Hopefully having the oil in there may have made that seal get a little bit more pliable again and stop the water from going through and coming out the weep hole. But I think if that's the case, it's going to be the death of that pump. So I think where we are now is probably should take like some compressed air. I don't know what we're going to run into as far as corrosion and aluminum. I don't know if the engine has a bunch of that in it or not. Is it just the water pump that had the issue, or is it kind of plagued through the whole thing? So I'm going to do my best to go piece some hoses together, and that's no good. I don't know if we have enough room to cut them back and maybe get them on there, but what I don't have or what I can't use, I'm going to just try and fabricate some stuff. Yeah, it's got crap sitting down in the bottom of it right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take an air gun, I'm going to try blowing through a bunch of passages, see if there's any corrosion in the engine. If I keep finding a bunch of stuff coming off, maybe we'll have to dig a little further and kind of blow some more compressed air through. What do we got for hoses? I figure we have another. It's probably a breather hose. I don't know if that's a heater hose or not. That one I'm looking at right there. You could probably bypass some of that too. Maybe if the heater core can be pissing out. I just have no idea. There's one up there. Does that look like it's got some kind of weird patch to it? What's that metal thing in the middle? Looking at that right there. And then whatever this is with a bunch of corrosion on it. Oh, that's the slave cylinder. We talked about that. All right, let me go blow some passages through and see what we get. Let's go undo the dam, see if it held any fluid. Yeah, it held the oil. So that's good. We figure it'd try to pump itself out too, right? All right, well, I'm gonna go work on hoses and air gun. That was a rock. That's the hose that was completely clogged on the other end going to the lower radiator. Let's go see what the other end of that looks like. Not too bad. Got sludge and crap in it, but it's not all powdery. Good. I'm gonna see if I can try to find something that looks roughly like that. And we are in the land of Vanagon parts. I'm hoping something new will fit the bill, even if we just cut a section out that kind of matches a profile, gets us close to it. I don't know if that ID is going to be the same. We'll leave that one out. Just grab it. Okay, so what we could also do probably too is just cut a section and put a piece of pipe in between and clamp it. Just cut the rotten pot out. I think it's going to be about it for that size, right? Another one. Alright, let's go back to the operating table. I think right about there will get us from point A to point B with a little extra tickler in there. Perfect. Yeah. I got a fresh pan underneath it. Get rid of the oil. I think its chances are. Nothing yet. I'm gonna give it a 30% chance it won't leak. My thought's probably gonna be more like the heater core area. That and the other thing is, again, like head gaskets and... Uh-oh. That is probably the weep hole on the water pump. So whatever hole is in our water pump is still tinkling. Let's go lift that up, take a peek, and see if we can, you know, maybe we just shove like a sheetrock screw or something in it. If the pump's junk, it's not going to hurt it. I'd like to be able to circulate water through it though. Now, I know if I said it before, the purpose of that weep hole, which is right next to the pulley, I don't think we're going to be able to get anything in there without taking that pulley off of there. Yeah, so it saves the bearing. There's a seal from the impeller to the bearing part of it. So if any fluid or water gets past the seal for the water pump, it keeps it from burning up the bearing on the pulley. But in this instance, we don't have anything to lose. So I think we can try, I'm gonna try getting that pulley off. I don't know how well that's gonna work. I already got some dings and dents in it. I don't want to beat it up too much. And possibly we can get something in there. We'll plug it. Maybe we'll get enough room to run a tap. Maybe we can tap and put like a gummy screw of some sort in there. Let's see if we can get it with this without it to. That get us closer. But draw the tubing together. There we go. I don't know what's going to need a puller though, like once that's off of there, and we're not going to have the room for that. We'll see. I tried giving a couple of rabbit taps from behind. Try to find a decent place to push off of. that note. Let me try getting another one. That might be coming back up. Alright. Got her. See what we can do with the hole. So I'm over here, crawled underneath to go look, see what we can go do about plugging that hole up, and I looked to my left and I'm like, well, that's a nice tire. I don't know if you're supposed to see the inside beyond the cords. Not much life left in that one, that's for sure. I don't know if it's got a spare or not. I think these are like, what are they, 12s? Might be 12-inch tires. Anyway, I get sidetracked. Alright, let's see what we can do about that. So all I ended up doing, I took a piece of fuel line, cut it, and then I took it on a grinder and I made it so it had a taper like that, and hammered it up in there, and then took a screw and drove the screw up, which also spread it and got it even tighter in there. So I don't think that's going anywhere. Let's go fill the rest of the water system up and see if we have any other leaks, and then we could start putting the pulleys and the generator back on. All right, I got the cooling system topped off and the cap on it. It is slowly dripping past the seal, which kind of expected, but at least it stopped pouring out like it was before. Let's give her some choke. And the key is on. It runs good, huh? A little bit of bearing noise you're hearing. But for something that was locked up. Let's go check the, see if the charge light went out. See if we're charging. It says we are. Good. Got to warm up a little bit now. So my only concern is, like it's a blown head gasket, things along that line. I think that fan is pushing the air. And it choke up. Can I die? Yeah, I might still need a carb clean. We'll see. We'll give it a little bit more choke. And let it run a little bit more too. No, you did it. We out of gas too. Find a happy spot for that. We'll let it run with just the choke on for a little bit. What I should have done was put the ass end up in the air and ran it through the gears. See how the transmission is. Alright, I'm going to open the door and turn the fan on. Pushing some out the cap right now. Hope this up actually is fairly dry. I don't know if it's doing much of a circulation. You know, whether the thermostat's open. It's even got a temp gauge. Might just have a dummy light. And it's got temp gauge, whether it works or not, who knows, you know. We'll give it, I don't know, maybe another 5 minutes and we'll shut it off. Just all old oil coming off the valve cover and burning it off. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. Probably should have left it with no pressure on it, but I guess if we're going to find a leak, we're going to find a leak, right? See if anything. My only other concern is, like I said, the heater port. As it pressurizes, which I think will probably be right roughly in that area somewhere. And it's only water. The whole system should be flushed out too. I'm not bothering putting coolant in it. Basically, you take the one of the hoses off and you hook a garden hose to it, and then you let it flush out the other end. So the lower one on the water pump, force it in one side, you let it flush through the system, and you come back out and try to get rid of all the crap that's in it. I'll bring you back in about 5 minutes. Might as well fire up some lights while we're waiting. Yeah, you got me. Go with that one? That's cigarette lighter. That's wipers. UC. Directional. You doing anything on the outside? Yeah. So you can figure out where the headlights are. I know, you're looking right at them. That one? That should be parking lights. Headlights? I heard it bog down. The generator taking a load. Nice. Car being put away in a good condition definitely saved it. You know, water pump's the only thing for age so far. Directionals work. Who knows about brake lights? I don't want to hit the brake pedal yet, because I don't want to jam any brakes forward. But we got a hydraulic clutch on it, so we should probably look into doing something with that. You know, bleeding them or whatnot. All right. Gonna let that settle. And I'm gonna go grab lunch. We'll go let it cool down. And probably we'll get into looking at the clutch. We'll get the ass end up in the air and see how the transmission is. Yeah, runs nice. A lot quieter than I thought it was going to be too. All right, let's go try the left pedal. See if we have any. It's froze. Yeah, so much for going for a ride. Both of those, I feel like they are going to need a bunch of love. I wonder if the clutch we can. It's slowly going down. Now that's going to be an issue. No drive like that. Yeah, this pedal's fine. I don't want to go crazy on the brakes. So I was hoping that one's going to be free. Go see if we can find where the slave cylinder is. So we got two cylinders up here. One there, one there. Okay, one's going to be the clutch and one's going to be the brake master cylinder. It looks like, I don't know, maybe a mirror. You guys can probably see under there more than I can. I wonder if we can get this little, can we get this little access plate? That's where the horns are. I wonder if we get that out of the way, give us a straight shot to see them. It's either that or lift the gas tank, right? Yeah, that might be able to come out of there. Then we can look and see what we got going on. I got you down there. You can see. They look like they match each other. Two are the same. But the panel does not get access to it. The panel that was up here I was looking at, that doesn't go through. So I think the only thing you could do is really get the gas tank, lift the gas tank up and out, and because you have to be able to get back to those lines back there and undo the line closest to us. Those, I think that's the fill. Yeah, the one's closest. This one here, that one, is coming down from the reservoir, and then I guess the copper line is the one that runs out back for the clutch, and then also runs the brakes on them. So we'd have to get them unbolted and away. And I don't have rebuild kits for them. I don't know what our next option should be. I think as far as the clutch, maybe what we'll do is we'll just try giving her a little bit on it and push and see if it gets stuck down, if it returns or not. Either way, I don't think it's going to screw it up any. The brakes, on the other hand, I really wouldn't want to do that because the brakes would make it so the car doesn't roll. So I'm going to try to not deal with that. Let's get back inside and try it. All right. It's going. I got a lot of pressure on it though. Let's go see if it returns. Yeah, I think what's happening. Yeah, it just went all the way down. So the plunger just stayed. The plunger just stayed in the down position on the clutch. The brake's going to do the same thing. And then it's so gummy in there that the spring and the little, there's like a metal cap or a plastic cap with a rubber diaphragm around it. And then there's a spring on the other side, and the spring's supposed to return it. Well, it was so gooey going in that one direction, it doesn't want to return. You can get it, get it out. You take an air gun, you blow them out and change them and all. But it's going to need 2 of them. That's something, you know, definitely needs to be right. So that may have pushed the clutch down. We'll let that sit. It may over time try to crawl back. Let it be a little bit. We'll let it sit. See if it kind of slowly creeps back. Because what it has is it does have a bunch of hydraulic pressure on the other end. The clutch is pushing back on it. Let's fire it up. I gotta hook the battery up. We'll fire it up and we'll see if it'll go into gear. See if at least if it engaged the clutch. I put it in gear. I should be able to crank it and not have the car try to move forward. Let's see what we get. Yeah. See if that choke lever works. I think it was on the floor, wasn't it? Yeah, right there, right in front of you. Let's go see if that'll do anything. Yeah, I can go through the gear. So it did engage the clutch. Just it's not working backwards. Shut that on. And should have left up on it. Let's try that. Pop it back in gear. Oh, is that first? Alright, that's what we'll possibly try and do is on here, maybe we'll release the bleeder. We'll know if it's the slave cylinder, because this could do the same thing too. If this pushed all the way forward and didn't want to return. Let's go see if this releases pressure. If it does, then we know at least this one's okay. And let's see if we can get that one. Let's see if it bleeds out a bunch. Yeah, it's not looking good. Take it completely out. But that should, because the clutch is pushed down right now, that should be under pressure and fluid should be coming back at us. And that fitting's almost all the way out. Sometimes they get clogged in the middle, but see if it goes on me. No, nothing. Yeah, so that's going to be an issue too. So I'm going to say the slave cylinder, which looks like they replaced it. Like that bolt does not match that bolt, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. But that's what happens when it sits for 30 years. Everything just gets frozen in its place, including the water pump. So, but we got the function check fairly decent. We got to look at, you know, I don't think it has any head gasket issues or anything like that, so all that seems to be good. The engine seems nice and tight. As far as running it through the gears, I'm not going to do that. Feels right with the shifter. I'm not going to suspect it has a problem. If it had a problem, it had a problem before too when it was parked, you know, like so if it grinds or if it has jumps out of a gear or is missing a gear or whatever the issue is. That's not something from sitting, that would be from, you know, how it was parked. And everything else seemed to be pretty good on the car. They put away, so I wouldn't suspect that would be an issue with it. And let me gather my thoughts for a minute and see what we're going to do. Well guys, I think that's going to be about it for me on this. It is not my car. I don't know if I made that clear, but I just got this to do the will it run and kind of get an assessment on it and see what he had to go work with. So that's what we pretty much have done. Engine seems fine. All that part seems decent. I don't see any issues there. It's going to have to get either rebuild kits or new ones. I'd probably try to go and get new ones if they're available for the master cylinders of the clutch and the brake. Probably wheel cylinders all the way around and the clutch slave cylinder in the back. I think all those are going to have pitting issues if you go to take them apart. I think they're going to be kind of like that water pump that was on here. So water pump and then all the hydraulic components around the car should put it in fairly decent shape. I don't know, you know, again, brake shoes while you're in there, that kind of thing, but I'm not restoring this car. My job was just to try to do an assessment on it and see if we can get it to run. And we got that far. You know, it put up a little bit of a fight. The water pump didn't want to play. But it's a nice clean car. I like it. It's cool. Cool little rig. Something different for me to work on too, not your average air-cooled VW, you know. I don't know if this is going to make a comeback or not. Again, I'm not... I didn't sign on for restoring the car, just for kind of get an assessment and see if we can go and get it in there running. So guys, with that, I'm going to go sign off, and I'll thank you for hanging out with me, doing some wrenching, and I don't know if that other one's coming over too, and we've got another one to probably go work on, so we'll see how we make out with that one. But for this one, I'm calling it. So with that, thanks guys for hanging out. We'll play again soon. Later.